on this episode of the Sorority Chat podcast.
Be yourself. And the best way to be yourself is to understand more about yourself. But really, when you are honoring your coloring and your body shape, you're probably going to feel amazing. And when you feel amazing about how you look, you're going to walk into Rush, you're going to walk into the first day of class, you're going to walk into your first job interview, not worrying about your appearance. You can take that off the worry list because you know you look good and so you feel good.
Hey y'all, and welcome to Sorority Chat. I'm Liz Alexander, a designer and sorority alum who's obsessed with all things Greek life. My mission? To bring you real conversations, smart insights, and fun stories that help make sorority living even better. So grab your favorite beverage, get comfy, and let's chat. Sorority Chatters, we are in for a treat today. If you have been around here for any length of time, you have heard me mention House of Color on numerous episodes in conversations with other guests. And today we have Meghan Tinker joining us from House of Color Louisville. And she is someone whose work has completely changed the way that I think about personal style. And I know you'll feel the same when the conversation is over. A few years ago, I sat in Meghan's studio for my first color analysis, and I learned why some colors instantly make me look more vibrant, while others make me not look so great. A year later, I returned for her style program, and that experience transformed not only how I shop, but how I think about confidence and self-expression and showing up authentically through my fashion choices. So today we're going to talk about understanding your best colors in personal style, how that can simplify your wardrobe, boost confidence, and help you make stronger first impressions. We'll discuss everything from recruitment outfits and college transitions to evolving your style throughout different seasons of adulthood. So whether you're a student preparing for recruitment or an alumna refining your personal brand, Meghan has something for you today. Welcome, Meghan.
Thanks for having me, Liz.
I am thrilled to see you again. Like I said, I'm always touting House of Color, so I've been very excited to have this conversation.
I appreciate that. I know it's been a while in the making.
Yes, it has. But good things come to those who wait. So if anyone is not familiar with the House of Color company, talk to us a little bit just about exactly what you do and what happens during a color analysis appointment.
So House of Color, the brand, has been around for over 45 years. They're kind of the OGs of color and style analysis. So based in London, my awareness of color analysis probably started where a lot of Rush moms' awareness started when we were maybe in high school. Our moms were probably getting our colors done.
Yep.
And it was a similar process to what we do in the House of Color studio, but it quickly got pretty watered down. And so House of Color never deviated from the process that we use today. And so when it came to America, probably about 15 years ago, maybe up to 20 now, we've really brought the luxurious experience that you should deserve for yourself, but the accuracy of 45 years going into the process. So color analysis is the idea that there's one of these 4 color palettes that harmonizes with your natural coloring. If I can describe you as a spring, what I'm really saying is that you are clear, bright, warm, and light. And the colors that look best on you, whether it's color that you add to your hair, makeup, clothing, they're also going to use those keywords, clear, bright, warm, and light. So we use the process that was developed close to 50 years ago, where we compare a series of drapes to find your best harmonious colors.
Yes, I love it. I get so worked up and get on a soapbox when someone's like, I asked ChatGPT what season I am. And I'm like, no, you must go and have the experience yourself in person. It's totally different.
In my anecdotal experience here in Louisville, Kentucky, ChatGPT is telling everyone they're soft autumns. I bet 1 out of every 10 autumns is a soft autumn. So if you get diagnosed that, come get a real opinion from House of Color.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm curious what actually made you become interested in color and style consulting? Like what drew you into House of Color?
Well, I have always loved style and fashion as a way to build confidence. I got out of college and was a sales rep for many years, and it wasn't filling my creative cup. So I kind of had a part-time side hustle representing some jewelry and clothing brands. And what I loved was that I would get texts from my customers that would say, I wore my new thing today and I felt amazing. I wore my new thing today. I got tons of compliments. And so I recognized that people were using fashion as an expression or as a way to build their own confidence. And I had this mantra in my mind: when you look good, you feel good. And when you feel good, you do good. Like, it's not about vanity. It is about feeling good when you walk out the door, so you're not distracted by, do I need to suck my stomach in? Is this the wrong lipstick color for me? So it's a tool to build your confidence.
Yeah.
Fast forward 8 years ago, I turned 40, and I just recently had my 48th birthday. So I turned 40 and I saw some photos that I had paid for of myself. These were professional headshots. And I was like, well, this is it. I just look tired all the time now. This is what 40 must be. And around the same time, a friend had shared her color analysis photos. So I immediately called her up and I was like, tell me more. Because even though I was working part-time as a stylist, I didn't have the knowledge of how powerful color could be. You know how powerful color can be in a space, right? We get to use that same information on our bodies. So I quickly fell in love with the idea of actually being trained to be a stylist. I was trained in my sales role before. I was the expert on what I was talking about. So I didn't even know training on styling existed. So I immediately went and booked my color analysis, and then the whole world shut down. And so I had to wait to go to Des Moines, Iowa to have my colors done until we were allowed to cross state lines again. And then I opened a business in my home during the fall of 2020 when the whole world was shut down.
Lovely. Well, look at you now, because now you have an outside studio, or actually you've expanded to maybe 3. Is that right?
That's right. Yeah. We have this space where we're in Middletown, Kentucky, in East Louisville. We have a studio in the Highlands, and we have a studio in New Albany, Indiana.
Yes, that's great. So when I did my consult with you, we were in your home, and it was a great studio and a fabulous experience. And then I've come back since you've expanded, and now you've got the products in the stores, and it's an even more elevated experience, I guess.
We love our space here. It allows us to give that elevated experience, serve larger groups. Yes. But you might think to yourself, starting a business where you have to be all up in someone's face during a global pandemic might be a little risky. Well, God had other plans. What he allowed people to do during their COVID lockdown was ruthlessly clean out their closets. And when they ruthlessly cleaned out their closets, and they had bags and bags of things that they recognized they didn't love, they didn't serve them, but they didn't want to do that again, they were going to be more intentional the next time they shopped. And so people were seeking out personal stylists in a way that they never had before.
That's really interesting timing. I hadn't put that connection together, but that makes a lot of sense. So then I'm assuming once things opened back up and people were seeking the stylists, then you had folks flocking to you to get your help with this.
They really were. They were typing in House of Color, and I was now the first one in a 5-hour driving distance, and they were coming to me. So yeah, people were waiting to find a House of Color near them.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I mean, that sounds like quite a successful recipe then for the business that looked like maybe it wasn't going to go your way to start.
Right.
What do you think the biggest misconception is before somebody comes into your studio to have an analysis?
That we're going to tell them what to do. I'm going to say, you can never wear black again, or you must wear a coral lipstick. We guide our clients with tools, not rules. You might not be wearing the springiest color up top today, but you know what? You put a pop of color on your necklace and you're making it work for you. Nobody's following our clients around being their color and style police, but we are here as a resource. So when people come, and so often they're like, I wish I would have done this when I first heard about it. I wish I would have done this 5 years ago. And I'll say, what held you back? And they're like, I was scared you were going to tell me I couldn't be blonde. I was scared you were going to tell me I couldn't wear black. And the truth is, we're never going to tell someone what they have to do. They're just going to be empowered to make choices that they're going to feel confident in and hopefully love for a long time.
It's funny. That's a parallel with your work and mine. A lot of folks won't call for professional design help because they're afraid they're going to be bossed around or pushed into a decision that isn't right for them. And I'm like, no, that's not the point of getting the help. The help is to make your life easier and give you a space that you're proud of and that you're comfortable in, much like you're giving them a look that they're proud of and feeling comfortable in their own skin.
Yes, much like you're not turning every sorority house into Liz's kitchen. I'm not making everyone dress like Meghan. Not everyone has the same body shape as me. They don't have the same coloring as me. They don't have the same personality as me. But I do my best to learn and understand all of those things about each individual so that I can help them understand. If I have a rounder body, if I have a round table, I'm not going to put a square tablecloth on it. I just want people to understand how to dress for themselves. Another similarity I have seen between our two types of businesses is that I think it can feel intimidating to reach out to someone. Like we as women we expect ourselves to be good at all those things. I'm good at dressing myself, so I should automatically be good at decorating my home. I might have taste, but I don't know where to go to source the exact rug I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's a good point. You're right. And I've just learned over time that getting help, I may, like you said, be okay at something or have a little bit of knowledge, like just enough to be dangerous. But getting an expert's help makes all the difference in me having success in some area of my life instead of just trying to do it on my own and getting frustrated.
Right? I had a water filter, a new faucet, and an oven that I'm waiting to get gas run to. And instead of trying to figure it out myself, I'm going to call a plumber. It's going to get done so much faster. Without me wasting money before I then eventually call the plumber.
Yes, yes. So, I mean, we know that first impressions matter. And so I'm curious your perspective on how color influences that and influences the way that we're perceived, and whether that's a loud influence or kind of a quieter undertone.
That is such a great question. I want to kind of paint some pictures using like Hollywood references because everyone will probably know what I'm talking about. When you picture a villain in a movie or a superhero story, what is their costume almost always? What color?
Dark, black, usually.
So if Hollywood is using black to make us fear someone, and we also recognize that black is the color of mourning someone, do I want to wear that color, even if it's in my color palette? Do I want to use the color black when I'm trying to communicate that I'm friendly, outgoing, and open? Probably not. It can be a striking, stunning color for evening, but it's not the most approachable color in the world. So if I'm in college and I'm giving my first speech communication talk and my professor has asked me to wear a suit, I could pick a navy suit and probably people are going to pay even more attention to me than they would in the black suit, or they'll be more open to my ideas.
Yeah, I like that analogy because I had not really thought of that. You know, the dark villain kind of feeling closed off and not very open.
Sometimes you're given a recipe, like certain, for Rush Week, there might be a night where you're supposed to wear white. Is there flexibility? If you have a warm color palette, are you allowed to wear cream? Because that would be even better on you than white would. If they say it's wear red night, is it warm red or cool red? I'm going to wear a cool red. You'd pick a warm red. If you don't know your colors, you can pick true red because it sits right in the middle.
Yes, that's good advice. And you're sort of segueing me to where I wanted to go next, which was talking about recruitment season can feel overwhelming. And so we put so much pressure on like, what am I wearing? How am I showing up? There's the whole outfit of the day trend on TikTok. And so what advice would you give to a woman who's preparing to go through recruitment and trying to figure out what to wear? And this could be on either side. Either they're coming in as a potential new member or they're on the active side. And, how would you advise them to choose their outfits, knowing that there is some guidance provided by the university, like you mentioned?
So when you're able to, I actually got this advice from one of my employees that's an actress. And she found her wow colors, and one of them happened to be electric blue. And she was like, this is going to be my audition color. So that every time they saw her, they would remember, Claire's the one in the electric blue. And if you have the opportunity to pick like a signature color, I would do that. Get a color analysis. I promise you there is a house of color somewhere near you. Get a color analysis. Find your 8 to 10. We call them wow colors, but they're the best of the best. They give you the most amount of impact. You can use things like color psychology to communicate things. If you know that yellow is a color that sparks joy and you love the color yellow and feel good in it, wear yellow. You're probably going to get compliments and it makes people happy. Pink is your favorite color, or red. Those are colors of passion. If you can wear the same color every night, it will really help people remember. I'm wearing red today, but my colleagues will often say they can scan a room and when they see fuchsia, they know it's me.
Yeah.
But if you are like given a theme, basically tonight is Black Night. In my own Rush experience, I know there was a night where everyone was supposed to wear black. And today I would know if I had to wear black, I'm going to put a colorful necklace with it so that I have a little pop of color near my face. I'm going to make sure my lipstick is on point. And luckily there's still a little bit in. I might do a little headband or something in a pop of color so that you do stand out from the crowd a little bit.
I love that. I love that choosing a signature color and showing up in that repeatedly, and it helps you stay memorable. And that's a goal for recruitment, is to be memorable and, make a connection with folks.
Well, in just a few short years, these same ladies will be interviewing for their first real jobs.
Yes.
And so that's a good tip to carry on. Pick your favorite color and wear it as the blouse in your suit in all your interviews.
Yeah. And then that doesn't break the bank either. It's a way that you're planning ahead and thinking of how you can coordinate these outfits efficiently and effectively.
I love that you just said didn't break the bank, because I do feel like that is something that people get intimidated by when they start working with a stylist. Is like, oh, this is going to be way too expensive. So many times in the long run, we save our clients money. Have you ever felt that way in your job?
Yeah. You're saving people from mistakes, which saves a lot of money.
Right? If you still have tags on things in your closet, then it's likely you made the wrong choice. And whether you are working with a stylist up front to get the information yourself. So if I'm a young lady getting ready to go through Rush, and I love shopping and I love putting outfits together, I can just start with a stylist, find my best colors, and then use that tool as I'm going on my own. If I am a young lady that is not confident in shopping, and that's not one of my favorite gifts, and my mom doesn't love it either, then I can actually work with a stylist to take me shopping. It's a little bit of an investment up front, but you're likely to end up with things that not only do you feel confident at Rush, but you're going to want to wear them again and again.
Yeah, you're right. So here's the thing that I've noticed. Instead of being swayed by whatever the trendy color is for the season or whatever the new style is, I already know, yes, this works for me, or no, this doesn't work for me. And then that steers me in the right direction. And so I was telling friends this past weekend, I was out of town and I went shopping at the outlet malls, and I went hard. And I was like, a few months ago, I was thinking, I wonder if I don't like shopping anymore, because every time I went in a store, I didn't buy anything. And that's very unusual for me. And I just found myself when I was walking through the store, I was like, this really isn't my color palette, or like, that's not the right fit for me. Like, I'm not going to buy this, because then it's just going to sit in the closet or end up donated. And I might as well light the money on fire.
Yeah.
So parents may want to help. How would you advise them to get involved and help encourage their student as they're preparing for recruitment and giving their students confidence without adding extra stress?
Ooh, that's a good question. So my mom looks at me and is like, where did you come from? She hardly owns a stitch of makeup. She does not enjoy shopping. She does not enjoy putting a look together. She enjoys working in her garden and wearing her comfy clothes. So when it came time for me to go through Rush and then later go through job interviews, prepare for my wedding, that wasn't her strong suit. So if she had known such a service existed, I think she gladly would have brought me and let me learn some things, since that wasn't something she was equipped to teach me. But if mom is passionate about shopping, we try to use really positive words in our studio, especially with our young clients, because they are still forming their opinion of themselves, their self-worth. And so instead of saying, that washes you out or that looks bad on you, maybe just bring another option and say, let's try this one. My pro tip that I use with my clients is take a picture of an outfit, compare it to another outfit. So put your 3 outfits side by side, and usually it's pretty obvious which one's the best to everyone. You will see like this one is lighting my face up because it's a good color, or maybe this outfit, even though it's the right size, it's sticking on my hips, and so it's making me feel a little uncomfortable, but also maybe a drapier silhouette would be even flattering. And so usually we feel the most comfortable and confident in the items that are actually the most flattering on us, but we might not necessarily have the tools to figure out what that is.
And the camera idea, the snapping the picture, is so easy. You've got your smartphone in the dressing room with you. Just take the picture. And like you said, then you can compare them and get the info you need relatively quickly.
And using the positive words.
Yes, I do like that too. Rather than saying the negative things, focus on the positive. I think this would look great on you. Try this instead. That's really good.
But you know what, moms? Sometimes teenage girls want to do what they want to do. And that's
sometimes. Okay. Yes, you're right. You're right. Sometimes it's a live and learn situation too, right?
I have boys. And for Christmas, one of them said, I don't want my colors for Christmas. Suit yourself. Tools, not rules.
Losing an opportunity there, boys. I was going to ask how your boys took style advice from you, if they did or not.
One of them is very similar coloring to me. And I bought him like this bluish purple fleece one year. He had never worn it. And then he saw me wearing a similar color. And he was like, wow, Mom, your eyes are popping today. I'm like, yeah, yours would be too in this color. Next day, he was wearing the fleece.
Oh, there you go. But he got a lot of compliments on it.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. He's a handsome guy.
So you've talked a few times about your experience in sorority. And so you were a Chi Omega at the University of Louisville. Is that right?
That's correct.
Talk a little bit about your experience in that world and how you see it show up today, if at all.
Well, I do feel like I got shortchanged of the sorority experience, not for any bad reason. I was also a cheerleader at the University of Louisville, which is a high time commitment. So I got to do Rush when I went through it, but I never once got to do Rush as a member of the sorority. I really didn't get to experience. I still have very dear friends from that time. I loved the structure that it gave, like my big sister kind of adopting me, and she's still my great friend today. And she had a very similar sorority experience to me because she was on the dance team. I feel like it gives me and young ladies like the structure of you actually have to go to class. That's important because you have to maintain your grades. And there's a level of accountability when you don't want to miss out on being a part of the fun things that your sorority's doing because you're the one that's on poor grade status.
Mm-hmm. You're right. Yeah, there is like a standard of excellence there from the academic standpoint.
So, but I do feel like I kind of had 2 sisterhoods. Probably my sisterhood that I spent the most time with was the cheerleading squad, but you just can't replace that experience in college. Just having this core where you feel welcome and you feel appreciated and you can really be yourself, whether it's your sports team or your sorority or fraternity, you can't replace that.
Yeah, I fully agree. And I think it's interesting. You had a unique experience getting to do both athletics and the Greek experience, because that is not always possible from campus to campus. Sometimes you do have to choose. And so what a great opportunity, even if you felt like your time was unequally divided, but you had the experience on both ends.
Yes. I grew in Louisville. You're either a Catholic school kid or a public school kid. And I was both. I went to Catholic grade school and public high school. So I always felt like I knew everyone. And then it was similar in college. I know the Greeks and the athletes. So it was a great networking experience as well.
Well, it's no wonder you've landed as an entrepreneur later in life, given all of that building along the way. Like the networking was just ingrained in you.
I do love that part.
So going back to the style side of things, I know that sometimes people can feel like styling themselves can feel overdone or like they're trying too hard. And so how would you advise someone to use color and style strategically without looking like it's just over the top if that's not their vibe?
So I'm probably a couple years older than you, but do you remember like the era of Teen Magazine and Teen Vogue? And you would get these articles. And so it's similar to what you're going to find on TikTok or Pinterest today. They're the magazines of today, let's be honest. But there'd be this very general advice. This year, more is more. Next year is going to be look in the mirror and take one thing off. The truth is there's no broad advice that's good for everyone. If I am a teeny tiny ingenue personality and I'm wearing large scale jewelry, all you're going to see is my necklace and you're going to lose me. It's going to look like I'm about to tump over. On the other hand, if I have this big, bold, dramatic personality and I can get away with things like that, they're going to make perfect sense on me. And if I were to wear little dainty, delicate floral prints, it would look like, oh, she's just a 5-year-old getting ready for church. When we work on your personal styling, I call it put together class. As soon as I start taking off some points of interest here, it just, I added a jacket because adding a jacket to any look adds authority. Adding a colorful necklace made my top a little bit more interesting. Now, this look itself has some interest. It's a great color. It's a pattern, but I instantly look more put together when I put the details back on. If you are just listening and not watching, you are just missing out.
You need to go to YouTube and watch is what you actually need to do. So that's funny because, again, another parallel between personal styling and home styling. You can start with just putting furniture in a room and it's fine, but you really need the rugs and the artwork and the pillows and all the lamps, those accessories, all of those things to finish out the space and make it feel comfortable and inviting. And so the more layers you have really do make the space and make your outfit better. It's just like you said, it applies to, your frame and your personal style and how you do that and execute it well.
Right. My living room and your living room, probably, even though we might appreciate similar style elements, I'm quite sure they don't look exactly the same. But we're both using different points of interest to make our living room feel put together. It's the same with people.
Yeah, you're right. And I'm really curious, do you find that you decorate your home in I think you told me you're a winter color palette. Do you decorate with those colors or no?
In small bits, I do. I have an office/laundry room, and it is fuchsia shelves, like black and fuchsia floral wallpaper. I'm obsessed with it. But all of winter colors aren't necessarily the most relaxing and calming. So I do tone it down to more of a summer palette in most of my first floor.
Okay, that makes sense. They are very strong, very energetic, bold colors. So yes, you're probably not going to coat your house in all of that. But I definitely find the spring color palettes, those bright, light, airy colors show up in my house and I'm just naturally gravitating towards them. And I just lean into that anymore.
Yeah, you would be shocked how many times we get someone to their color palette and it's not what they were expecting, but they say, oh my gosh, my whole home is decorated in these colors. So you were gravitating to them. You just didn't realize that they needed to be on your body.
Yep, that's true. It's just that subconscious. You just have to pull it out of you somehow. What do you think about how someone's style evolves as we move through different seasons of life? Is there something you would say, as advice for when to pause and see if you need to reassess or how you would evolve gracefully with your fashion?
I would say it's probably in the top 3 most used when I ask people what they're hoping to get out of working with a stylist or their style analysis. I hear probably very frequently, I just want to be age appropriate, but I don't want to look old. On the younger end of clients, often I'll be working with young ladies that are trying to break into the professional space for the first time. And they say, I want to look like I can be taken seriously. I don't want to look too young. So I think it depends on your situation. If you're interviewing for a job at a law practice, you probably need to be in a navy suit and a light neutral underneath, maybe a nude pump, maybe you are keeping it pretty conservative because that is what they expect. And as you grow in your career there, you might be able to express yourself more. If you are interviewing for a creative branding agency, you might be able to show up in a teal suit and be a little bit more creative with your accessorizing because they're expecting that out of you. So depending on your situation, just like when I clean out people's closets, even my most dialed in springs and summers, which are the softer, lighter palettes, are like, I'm going to keep that one black dress for the funerals. I'm like, as you should. Just using the information. I do feel like women start to appreciate buying nicer, paying a little bit more for a garment because it's going to fit their body better. It's going to last them longer. And many times we really do need to get something altered or tailored slightly to fit our body. It's not worth buying a dress at Target and having it altered unless you can do it yourself. But if I buy, can't even think of what brand this is, but if I buy a nicer jacket, it's worth spending the money to alter it so that it fits me perfectly. And this piece will last at least 10 years.
Yes, I agree. It definitely makes a case for higher quality materials, even if the cost is higher, because the longevity is there and it works for you. What's the most surprising thing that you have learned from analyzing other people's colors?
I'm genuinely most surprised when people just don't want to know. I'll work with people that are communicators. So they work on television or they are speakers on a stage. And so obviously they want to know because they ended up in my chair. But when their colleague is like, no thanks. Like, why wouldn't you at least want to know? You don't have to use all the information. People always assume that we can just see people out in the wild and guess. And that is not the case. However, when I see the same anchor on ESPN every day, I start forming an opinion because it's like seeing them in drapes. I see them in autumn colors one day, rich and earthy, and then the next day I see them in black, and then the next day I see them in a soft, cool summer color. And so I start forming an opinion over time. And I'm like, how could you not have this information? It's your job.
That is fascinating for someone to not want to know, because I, like you, tell me all the things. I want to know everything I can possibly know and have the education.
Right. You don't have to incorporate it all, but I just want to at least have the baseline information.
Is there a color that you think gets unfairly overlooked?
Can I grab a color real quick? Can I hop off the screen?
I'm curious what this color is going to be.
This
like
color,
a teal?
You might call it teal. I call it kingfisher. There's a very similar shade in the summer palette called sea green. I actually pulled this from the autumn colors. But if you need a color for a group, this color looks good on almost everyone. So that is like my little piece of magic for you.
I love that. So when you pulled it, I wondered if it was from the autumn palette, because a friend of mine had her colors done in Lexington recently, and she was in autumn and she was surprised. And that was one of the colors that she was like, oh, I've, liked this color, but I've not really known that it should be my strongest color. And now she's been pulling it into her wardrobe more. And we're like, yes, you look great in it. And so Kingfisher sounds like a very regal color name.
The other thing that surprises me is the autumn palette itself. I feel like people have strong opinions. They either really, really want to be an autumn and they don't want to be anything else, or they want to be anything except an autumn.
Yep.
And then when they...
Is that?
Well, first of all, if you say I'm okay being anything but something, you're probably going to be that thing. No, I'm just kidding. I do feel like in the autumn palette, people think about the colors of fall. They think about moss green. They think about mustard yellow. They think about like a rust color, pumpkin spice. And yes, those colors are in the autumn palette, but there is so much range in that palette. They get the soft, almost like earthy neutrals that will definitely like be in full in vogue fashion during certain times. They get these almost like the jewel tones of autumn. And then they also get these really bold, vibrant colors. So sometimes when someone's like, I didn't want to be an autumn, but I didn't know this is what it meant to be an autumn. I actually love these colors.
It's like the redheaded stepchild of the colors. Like, don't count it out.
Well, it's like an equal number of people are like die hard. I want to be an autumn. Don't tell me I'm anything else. And then as are like, I'm not sure about that palette. So it's the one that people have the most opinions about.
That's funny. Final question. If anyone listening could take away one lesson about confidence in style, what would you hope that it would be?
Be yourself. And the best way to be yourself is to understand more about yourself. So What we do here at House of Color is teach people how to honor their coloring, their body shape, their personality. If it is not in your budget today, do your research yourself. Like I 100% believe you will get the best information when you work with a stylist, but use the tools around you if you're not equipped to do that right now. Use the freebie I just gave you. If I don't know what to choose teal or true red. But really, when you are honoring your coloring and your body shape, you're probably going to feel amazing. And when you feel amazing about how you look, you're going to walk into Rush, you're going to walk into the first day of class, you're going to walk into your first job interview, not worrying about your appearance. You can take that off the worry list because you know you look good and so you feel good.
Yes, that is strong advice. And the knowing yourself comment shows up so much with different guests. So we're talking about fashion today and confidence and those things. It's showing up in other conversations. Like that is such a huge crux of success in life is knowing yourself well. So thank you for pointing that out.
I love a good personality quiz. I love an Enneagram. I just did the Working Genius. And so this information is like the visual personality quiz.
Yes, you're right. You're right. Well, Meghan, thanks for coming on and chatting with me today. If people want to connect with you and follow along with your work, what's the best way for them to do that?
I would say the easiest thing is to find us on Instagram. You can find me at House of Color Louisville, and that's color with an LOUR. If you want to follow the brand at House of Color USA, you'll be able to find the stylist that's closest to you. Many of them are my dear friends, but even if I don't know them, I am sure they will deliver quality experience.
Thank you so much.
Oh, Liz, thank you. Good to see you.
Welcome to Liz's House Hot Takes. This is where I take the lessons I've learned over the last 16 years of designing Greek houses and offer you my pro tips. Here's today's House Hot Take. Mental health should be supported through your chapter house's design. Some ways to do that are soothing color palettes, natural light, defined quiet zones, even if they're small, visual order and layout consistency, considering the acoustics in communal areas, incorporating life and nature through things like a window to the exterior or using plants in the decor, whether those plants are real or fake. All of these things can really help in creating a space that supports positive mental health. Thanks for listening to another House Hot Take. For more inspiration, check out the PDR Interiors Instagram or TikTok. I'm Liz Alexander, and this is the Sorority Chat Podcast. Catch you next time. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure to follow the show so you never miss an episode. And if you got something out of today's conversation, we'd love for you to leave us a 5-star review. It helps us reach more listeners just like you. If you're watching on YouTube, be sure to check out this video right here or this one over here. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It really helps us out. I'm Liz Alexander, and this is the Sorority Chat Podcast. Catch you next time. This podcast is produced by Collier Landry for Don't Touch My Radio. Copyright Liz Alexander.